To describe the event in one word, without a swear word, would be inspirational.
My name's Danny Wallace and I am the Queen Bee. I grew up on the council estates of Preston and I was furious when I found out that the Queen was born the Queen. So I set about creating the I Am the Queen Bee movement to help more people show up, wise up and rise up and reclaim their birthright to success. There's this quote that goes, aerodynamically, bees should not be able to fly. Their little wings shouldn't get their fat little bodies off the ground. But bees don't care what humans think is impossible. Bees fly anyway. So I wanted to create a space and a community where we can do what bees do when they're building something new. And that's festoon and link arms and help each other.
Community is really important, knowing that when people are talking about their experiences, it's not just you're not alone, there's other people that resonate and there's other people that you can help.
It's just about soaking up the atmosphere and being part of a community that supports each other.
Be Inspired is a 6-month mastermind that culminates in the most incredible personal and business development event where you take to the stage and share your mission and your business message.
It's been amazing. I have never done anything like this. Never ever thought I would, but because of Danny, I have. And I have genuinely loved it.
This is the place to be. It's so inclusive and actually it's there to help you mentally, physically and emotionally.
There's nowhere else where you'd ever feel so held and so safe.
I would love for you to come and get involved with Be Inspired so we can get you using your superpower hidden in plain sight, your voice, to take up the space you deserve in the world with your mission and your business. I can't wait to hear from you.
And with the swear word, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as inspirational.
Good morning, you lovely lot. How are you? Look, he's looking very untidy. Look at all the toys that are under there. Oh, the flip chart, the weather chart is only there to hide out Tatty. My bedroom is good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome. Come on in. Welcome to the show, Wise Up, Rise Up show with me, your host, Danny Wallace. I hope you're feeling good this morning. This Wise Up Wednesday. So the premise of the short Wise Up, Rise Up show is we do it in 3 sections. On a Monday, we show up together, set our intentions for the week. On a Wednesday, we learn together and grow. And on a Friday, we celebrate the shit out of each other with everything that we've achieved in the week, no matter how big or how small. Whether you have smashed in a 6-figure launch or whether you've just managed to shower every day, I'm going to celebrate the shit out of you. So good morning. How are you? Come on in, come and have a cuddle. We have a proper Wise Up Wednesday today. We've got a guest on the show this morning, which I'm really, really excited about. But before we do, I think it would be remiss of us not to check in about the weather, right? So I want to know from you, what's the weather doing where you are, where you're watching in the world? Let me know in the comments if you are watching globally. Good morning to our global audience. How are you? Let us know where you are watching in the world, in the UK. Have a big cuddle from me to you. How are you surviving? We're on day 3 of the summer holidays here. Yesterday, we did a bake-off. And when I say we did a bake-off, here's what happened. I went networking in my bee suit, which I'm very proud about. I'm not a proud person. I was very proud about that. I went networking in my bee suit, but it actually resulted in some fantastic conversations. So for anybody who doesn't know, some of the things that I do aren't all online. So I like to get out into the world, go and in real life network, go to events, go to networking groups. I'm an active member of a number of local community groups around here. And yesterday I thought I was speaking. So I was going to go and do a talk about Be Inspired and the Flying Away Foundation and all of this sort of stuff. And I got myself all suited and booted and I was ready. And then I realized I wasn't speaking. And because we're talking about sponsorship for Be Inspired and selling tables and all of that, I was like, shit, I've got 60 seconds to make a massive impact here. People need to remember who I am so that I can book in like calls and one-to-ones and stuff. So I went in my bee suit And it landed all right. I was quite happy with the conversations that we had. So yeah, making an impact a little bit visually yesterday, but it was a good day all round. And yesterday, I got to hang out and catch up with a new friend of mine. Now we've been following each other for, I think, even a couple of years, I dare say, in and around the online space. I certainly know that he's been connected with some of my closest friends here. In the online world, but we never kind of like sat down and had a brew. But a lot of our work aligns in terms of messaging, and we caught up. It was the incredible Dipti Solanki. It was her book launch just a couple of months back, and we met in person. I was like, oh, this guy's amazing. I'm so glad to have been able to meet him sort of in real life. But it was very brief, it was very short and sweet. But we did decide in that moment, right, we're going to be friends, we're going to hang out, we're going to have a brew, we're going to learn more about each other. And you know, when you meet people in life, in the online space, or in wherever, and you go, do you know what? I think you're going to be my people. And you know me, I'm like Ash from Pokemon. I've got a little Pokemon ball and I go around catching people. I'm right, I choose you. You're in my circle now. You're in my Pokemon ball. And people do the same with me. They come around, they catch me, and I'm in their Pokemon ball. And I think it was a mutual catch in this situation where we kind of met each other and we liked the cut of each other's jib. So the difficulty with being me and being a very busy person is what happens is I meet people and I go, yeah, let's hang out. And then all of a sudden life gets really super busy, head down, arse up, and I'm running. And I realized that at the beginning of this week, I realized at the beginning of this week that we'd promised ourselves a brew and a catch up, a virtual hangout at some point. This guy had reached out a number of times, said, hey, Danny, we should be hanging out. I was like, I'm a shitbag. And I am. For anybody that's my friend, for anybody that's close family, will know that I'm a shitbag. Don't mean that I don't love you. Don't mean that you're not on my mind. It means that my poor little ADHD brain will go, I'm thinking about that person. In my mind, I've sent them a message because I've thought about them. And then I will run off and do something else. And I remembered exactly Dominic Fenton, another somebody who we've got a catch up. We must. It's not because I forget about you. You remain in my brain. And then my mind thinks that because I've thought about you, somehow telepathically you know about that. And that's not the case. That's not how science of interaction works. So I sent this guy a message at the beginning of this week. I was like, you know what? We're doing ourselves an injustice. And we hung out yesterday for a brew. And it was half an hour of absolute magic. And magic is possibly the best way that I can describe this gentleman to you. So without further ado, we're going to talk about further magic. We're going to talk about ways in which we're going to be working together in the not too distant future, and ways that you can hang out with him. And if you are a member of the IATQB Hive, if you're not a member of the IATQB Hive, you're going to want to come on in. It's my free community space where we share our successes, share our challenges, and when I find someone incredible, where I share them with you as well. Please welcome to the Show Up, Wise Up, Rise Up show to talk to us more about magic, Adil Amarsi. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
How you guys doing? Sorry about this. I've got like both your window opening on one side, so I've got your voice coming at me, and a second one here. So it's like,
So we're here in the StreamYard after having kind of circled around each other for a couple of years, knowing each other in each other's sort of mutual social spaces, but have never met until we got into a room together at Dipti's book launch.
Yeah.
That was for me, it's like meeting somebody who you know from a book. And we've probably like maybe messaged each other on the odd time, reached out to each other, or we've done some stuff. But actually, we made a decision in the room on the day, right, to hang out in some way, shape, or form. And it's magic when that happens. And we hung out yesterday. Tell us a little bit about how we came across each other.
Oh, so you and I wish it's one of the weirdest things. I don't remember who. I think you added me off of one of, I think it was either Lisa Johnson or Natasha Bray's posts, because I worked with both of them in the past and have consulted for them.
Yeah.
So essentially, we connected on there, and I really just liked your energy. And I was like, fuck, I want to hang out with this lady, see who she is. And for ages, so this is the thing I love about Facebook and genuinely hate about Facebook. People, like, messages just disappear after a while, and you forget to respond.
Yeah.
I've done this. I'm sure we all have. And it's this thing I used to dislike about positioning, which is, like, hey, if you're an A-list, you should never reach out to people first. They should reach out to you. I'm the exact opposite. I have no ego about it. I'll say hello to you, even if you don't know who I am. I'm like, hello. If you know who I am, I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. Because if you know who I am and I'm the first one to reach out to you, that makes you feel like you're really special. You have a great feeling. Wow, this person really cares about me. And if you don't know who I am and I reach out to you, when you get to know me, you're like, holy fuck, who is this person? So it's like a win-win for me. It comes up both ways. So you and I met that way, and then we met at Dipty's event. I didn't recognize you until we sat down, and then I saw your hat.
Yes, I am a hat wearer these days. I do have my hat here. I'm going to be wearing the hat next week. But you did look better in it. I was fuming. I had to take it back from you very quickly.
She did.
Because...
It's the hair. I mean, it's gotten a lot longer since I last saw you. I think the last time I was back here.
It has. Like, I wish my hair grew as quick. But Adil, so we met. You've worked for some phenomenal people, but for some people in my audience, they may not know who you are. And me and the community were talking about this a little bit earlier in the week. People get shocked in their friendship circles when people don't know who I am. They go, how do you not know who the Queen Bee is? And it's because we're famous in our own front rooms. And what I mean by that is that we're famous in our own corners of the world, right? So for me, when I used to work at Southport Pontins, for example, I was famous at Southport Pontins, but nobody else knew who I was. And here in the online space, I have this little corner of the world where I shine a little light. But Adil, you've got a little bit more of a reach than I, and I've got a little bit more experience than I. Tell us a little bit more for those who don't know yet who you are. Tell us a little bit more about you.
So how do I put this? So basically, I've been a copywriter, or at least I was I still am technically a copywriter. That never stops being part of my life. Since the time I was about 18 professionally, but I've been doing this since I was about 12. So like 20 odd years of experience of writing copy and basically being the dude that knows things about different things. So my superpower is basically I've written in like 420 different marketplaces. I've written 17,000 plus marketing campaigns with like a 504 market loss. So I've got over 16,500 wins under my name, which is kind of insane. But for the longest time, I was quiet. So it's like I wasn't very famous, so to say. But what I have been finding out is that my reputation is preceding me nowadays, which is very awkward and odd when you get on. Like, this really came to a head at my friend's Christmas party 6-7 months ago. Sorry, in December. He was doing a Christmas barbecue. And one of the guys he introduced me to, a guy called Daryl, who's one of my close friends now. It was funny because I was there with Tom, and he was like, oh, this is Daryl. Daryl, this is Adil. Never met the man in my life. Not friends with him on Facebook. Don't know him from Adam. Literally, first words out of Daryl's mouth were like, Amarsi? I was like, no one's ever called me by my surname ever before.
I am he.
Like, how do you know me? And it was like, oh yeah, like I've seen your work. You've actually critiqued some of my copy from one of your clients, and one of your friends like, what? He was like, yeah. He goes, great job in the critiques, dude. Loved them. I was like, huh? How? So small world, and for the longest time I did have the nickname the Underground A-lister because I wouldn't put myself out there for a long time. But now I'm at a point where I feel comfortable showing up and glowing up and sharing what is in my head and being able to do so. And hey, it doesn't hurt too badly when you've influenced the likes of Taylor Welch, Dan Meredith, Joel Irway, and a host of other people. And most importantly, it's kind of cool to actually be able to sit here and say that my clients have $900 million in sales and more like $1.2 billion for the people I've worked. And if you know who Katrina Young is,
so we just like dust your shoulders while we're talking.
Just a little number.
Something there.
But yeah, so my specialty is I can pretty much figure out what someone's problem is and fix it very quickly. And one of my favorite things I love to do is get people on calls for 15 minutes. Because you know the whole thing's like, you can't solve my problem in 15 minutes. My problem is so insanely impossible. You can't solve it in 15 minutes. Yeah. I love those problems because when I time them and I give someone the response back in that time period, they're like, only 6 minutes have gone. I'm like, yeah. Do you have any other problems that you want me to solve?
Time while we're here.
While we're here, do you want to talk about random stuff as well? Like, let's talk about movies. Let's talk about that. I love stuff like this. Because to me, copywriting and advertising and understanding your market's audience is so second nature to me. It's like, I don't understand why it's difficult. But then again, at the same time, like, I've done this for a long time. So of course it's not difficult.
Done it for a long time. It's definitely within your zone of genius. And you've invested a lot in the research of this. So we were talking yesterday financially, from a time perspective, from a
ridiculous perspective.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, because who thinks
Yeah.
about doing what? Well, I'm pretty sure you're going to get me to share what I told you yesterday.
Am I allowed to share? Am I
Yeah,
allowed?
we can share that. It's funny. So I'm an endless curiosity person. So when I was about in my 20s, for about 9 years, I paid different people at different neurological clinicians and neuroscientists to let me put people into MRI machines and then read copy to them so I can see where their brain was going as I was reading certain words. And if there was a pattern that emerged on certain words, I'd ask the neuroscientist, please explain what's happening in the brain here and why. And I'd realize to remove those words from my advertising.
Right.
So, or the tonality from my advertising. So you'd find a lot of things can be shifted simply by tone of voice and by words.
So in effect, what you do in the marketing, in the advertising world, dare I say it, in the copyright, in anything that is sort of the sharing of message, right?
Mhm.
Sharing it and creating impact. You do for this industry what Derren Brown does for entertainment, right? Where he understands neuroscience and he understands psychology and he understands words so well that he could, like when I say this guy is a magician, like I'm not joking, because if we look at magic and we look at performers who are magicians, they just know psychology and sleight of hand and they know all the inside tricks and tips and all of that sort of stuff just so well that to the layperson it looks like magic, but actually what it is time served, an incredible genius brain mixed with an incredible capacity to deliver. You are, mate, you are a magician. I thought you was getting out a deck of cards. Yes.
I do have a deck of cards. I have several decks of cards because I actually am a card magician. I can actually do card tricks.
Of course you are.
But this is a very special deck of cards, by the way, that I'm holding, because they're not your regular deck of cards. This is a hypnotic deck of cards.
Okay.
So each one has, so I don't use these as much, but a friend of mine got them for me, or at least persuaded me into investing in them.
Yeah.
And essentially it's little hypnosis tricks that you can pick up. So it's like a person may not know. It's like people don't know all sorts of things. I don't know what's on the far side of Jupiter or what the temperature is is in Madrid. But not knowing when you're talking about an unspecified person rather than your hypnotic subject can lead to excellent trace work. A person may not know you may have all the resources you need. So it's just little reminders to do like hypnosis and thought processes.
I love it. I love that you got a deck of cards out when I was talking.
Oh, always in front of me. I have it's one of my stims. It's one of the things I use for stimming is I never leave the house without a deck of cards in my backpack.
Which is interesting, and one of the things that I'd love to touch on in our conversation this morning, a lot of conversations that we've had, certainly in the last 18 months, as we've been delving into as a family here at IATQB HQ, autism, ADHD, neurodiversities in general. As we've been learning about that as a family, we've also been learning about that as a wider community. What we've been uncovering is many of us, certainly in the entrepreneurial space, may find that they have neurodiversity. If we look at the narrow normal of the bell curve of how diverse our brains are, actually what the kind of the government or the school or the education program want us to fit into is a very, very narrow normal, and lots of us fall like sort of outside of the bell curve of this narrow normal. And what I'm finding out more and more is that in the entrepreneurial space, there are many of us, myself included, who find that they are either diagnosed or undiagnosed neurodivergent. And you find yourself in that merry band of wonderful folks, right?
Yeah, as of last year. And it finally made sense. Like, because I know some people can take terms and be like, use them as crutches.
Yeah.
For me, it was like someone gave me the map. I went, you're looking at it wrong. Turn it upside down. But this makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, 100%. And when you realize that about yourself, because even for me, running at 1,000,000 miles an hour and no one really understanding how it is that you do what you do or why it is that you do what you do, it just looks like magic. Actually, you just look at the world with a little bit of a different blueprint, but it allows you, in your case, to solve problems really, really quickly. Your brain works in a way that cuts out the bullshit, that you're able to get there much quicker. And I think that when you are able to change that into a superpower as opposed to a hindrance, even though in your case it might not have been a hindrance in many respects, you actually get to amplify all of these things now. even more than you did. And fucking hell, can you imagine?
Well, the thing is, that's what happens when you think at speed, because to give you an idea on this, I tested my brain to see how fast it is at rest and at flow, because I actually was very curious about this. So at rest, my brain functions at 5 times the speed of a regular brain, and in flow it's 15, which is the reason why I can tap into stuff. And we're going to actually do a little bit of a demonstration for this. If you guys are in for it, if you're up for a little demonstration, comment below, let me know. Just use the word demonstration, and we'll find something completely random. And Catherine, I see your message there. We'll talk about that in a moment, how you guys can reach out to me if you do want to talk to me. But I do want to do a little bit of a demonstration here, because believe it or not, the way that you can connect to your audience is just by speaking to them and speaking your story to them.
Yeah.
And you got to do it in a way that actually connects to their soul. Because this is the big problem people have, is they don't know how to connect the emotion and the logic together. And that's the only way you should really be selling, is logic plus emotion, or emotion plus logic.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about this in Be Heard. And one of the reasons, again, when me and Adil talk, it makes so much sense. Connection plus value. Connection plus value. If we want to connect with people, and then we give them something, we do this, and it's an exchange. And when it becomes an exchange, it becomes flow. When it becomes flow, it becomes much easier to buy or sell to and from people when you come from this space, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, we've got some hell yeahs going on. Our Cathys a member of our team and an absolutely phenomenal. Congratulations, Cathy, on your book launch this week. She's amazing. Also, somebody who's neurodivergent and wonderful and a genius. But yeah, good morning, Cathy. Good morning, Kat. Good morning, Joe Wilson. How are we all doing? Adil has talked to us about a little bit of a demo. Who is up for a demo this morning? I want a hell yes. Give me a hell yes.
And the interim as well, one thing I'm going to say is I want to get the definition for this from you as well, Danny, and that is, how would you define what value is?
How do I define what value is? So whilst I'm thinking about this and saying this is shooting from the hip, I want to know from you guys what value is as well. Let me know in the comments. So I think value is where you walk away from an interaction with someone or I don't know. So I'll talk about interaction first, and then I'll talk about purchase next. So an interaction with someone where you go away either knowing more than you did before, feeling better than you did before. So those two things, knowing more, because knowledge is a currency for me. Like I love knowledge and I love feeling good. So if I hang out with somebody and I know something more and I feel good, then I feel like that's had value. But if I think about a thing, someone like this, for example, which is my Heartbreaker from Revolution highlighter. If I've got a little bit of a pop of highlighter on, I'm feeling good. It's a lot to do with how I'm feeling in terms of value. But I also know, like, for me, value is knowledge. So if I know something, I can do something differently with that knowledge, right? That's where I'm at with value.
Awesome sauce. I love that. That's very similar to mine. I've almost a very similar thought process, which is I have. Gotta quickly send something off. See, I have it this way: as value is pretty much how you make someone feel and how you transform them.
Yes.
So, can I make you laugh? Can I make you feel seen? Can I make you feel heard? If the answer is yes to all those things, then I have provided value. Yeah. Whereas if I don't, then I haven't. I've actually taken value. And by the way, value can be something as simple as making someone smile.
Right.
Because, hey, who doesn't like to smile, right?
Right, 100%. I was falling asleep last night, Adil, and there was this incredible lady. I was blind scrolling. I was falling asleep. And I've been on a roller coaster the last couple of weeks, creating Be Inspired, and it's such a big event. And we've got an announcement, you and I, about Be Inspired together, which I'm really excited to share with everybody. But as I was falling asleep last night, there was a lady who was talking. I'd never come across her before. We're connected on Facebook. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. Scrolling this lady, and she's in bed and she's tucked up like this, and she just felt it on her heart to go live and talk to people as if they'd had a bad day today. So she was like, I've not been live in ages, and I felt it on my heart to go live today and share with you if you've had a bad day today, there's some things that I want you to go to sleep tonight thinking about. I was like, whoa, okay, I'm going to listen to this as I'm dropping asleep. And she was just sharing everything that you would normally expect to hear from somebody who is good at words, advising somebody with regards to having a bad day. So she was saying, you get to choose differently tomorrow. You get to be grateful for the things that you do have today, even if what you have is not a lot. And actually, I went to sleep feeling so good, and she just turned up like last night. She just came into my world last night, and it was interesting that how valuable these interactions are, and this show and this conversation is. So many of you are going to be watching this morning or watching on the replay. They're going to find this interaction valuable, and I want you to consider out there for you guys, like, what are you doing that's providing that value? How are you transforming? How are you changing? And Adil, that's what you do. I mean, man, that's your bread and butter, right?
Pretty much magician, as you will. Like the four that I live under. I'm still here, by the way. My camera's just being weird. It does that every half an hour. But the 4 types, I actually, believe it or not, there's a book on my table right next to me that explains all 4 of me, which is king, warrior, magician, and lover.
Yes,
those are the 4 that I sit to. So I love the actual definitions we're getting for value. I think Amy's got value is leaving someone feeling good, which is amazing. I do love that. I throw compliments around like confetti. I love that as an actual thought. Cathys got value, something creates a shift in someone's path, and I agree with both. I think it's brilliant, and it feels like we've had quite a few people ask for a demonstration. So. Shall we have a little fun with this?
Let's have some fun. I'm always here for a bit of fun as well,
Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. There are some rules to the game. Very simple. We're going to have either audience participation or Danny, up to you. Either one, whoever comes first can go do it. And I love the fact that you do the exact same thing I do, which is sit up and shift.
I'm getting comfortable. I'm here for this.
Okay, so I need to find a marketplace and a niche, or like a product or a service, whatever it is. I don't care, whatever it is. I'm going to show you guys how simple it is to come up with this, with an emotional message that connects deeply. Kathy,
are you there? Kathy comes through. We're channeling Kathy right now. A marketplace and a niche. Kathy has a marketplace and a niche, and I reckon would benefit from a live demonstration 100%. Kathy, are you there? My little sugar plum dumpling, come on through. I know she's there. Her market. I want Kathy to explain her marketplace and her niche to you, because she does it so much better than me. And whilst we're waiting, I feel like I should give you a little song while I'm waiting. I'm not going to give you a little song while I'm waiting.
You just want to give me a song.
See, what's great about Adil is that he's really cool with dead air. It's not dead air. He's okay with silence. I am not.
Oh, I can just entertain then. It's like I can just tell jokes. By the way, if you guys do want to, actually, while we're waiting here, because again, I used to be a stand-up comedian, I can tell you guys a joke while I'm here.
I am here for a joke.
Usually I don't drink fizzy drinks this early in the morning, but I'm like, I kind of need the orange.
You can do what you want. You're a magician. You can do what you want. Mine's gin.
Fair enough.
No. I wish it was. Catherine's gone quiet on us. She's watching over on LinkedIn. But Cathys Marketplace is working with people in business with particularly sustainability right at its very core. So people who are creating sustainable businesses, and their marketplace could be product. Their marketplace could be service.
Sustainable in what way? Like globally sustainable or sustainable themselves?
Yeah, globally sustainable, but holistically sustainable, but with more of an emphasis on the climate, the environment, on the overarching sustainability conversation that's happening out there. Cathys a goddess, really, when it comes to supporting businesses that work within that particular field.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. That's the marketplace. So who's our ideal client? So that's who our ideal client is, but what's the service delivery that she does?
I'm going to ring Kathy. I'm going to tell her to
get her butt back on here.
Get here, because I don't know if she's disappeared.
Okay, while we're doing this, I'm going to tell you guys a really fun random ass story then. If you
Tell a
guys are here for it.
story whilst we're here.
So, God, which one do I actually tell you guys? So, should I tell you guys the time I got detained in New York or the time that I flying in for a comedy show as well? That was the weird part. Is I was flying in to do a comedy week and I got detained on the way in. Blame a different comedian. So there's that, or so many great stories though. All right, so now I'll tell you guys a really fun story. Like Shiggy knows this one, but it's one that basically proves that I run towards my problems, not away from them. And essentially, I was 3 years old, and you know how like parents tell you like if you don't eat your veggies, like someone's gonna come get you. Like they scare the crap out of you, aka give you an eating disorder, aka the 90s. Basically, my parents used to say that to me in Africa because I grew up in Tanzania and then moved over to the UK when I was 4. But that was the funny thing. Like, I was not afraid of anyone, like, in Tanzania, because, like, everyone knew my family. We all knew each other. It's a super close community. Like, my mother told me recently, she was like, Adil, seriously, there were times that I'd put you down for a nap, and there'll be a knock at the front door half an hour later because you'd snuck out the bedroom window and were walking towards your grandma's house, which is a mile away, and someone in the city basically saw who you were, knew who you were, came up to you and brought you back home, and were like, yeah, no, he was just walking down, like, the path. It was really dangerous. So it was like, so Catherine, what is the service that you provide? Like, tell me a little bit more about that. So anyway, what ends up happening is, obviously they tell me that the bearded man is going to come get me if I don't eat my food. So one day I get a knock on the door, and I have zero fear about opening the door. I'm my little tidy whitey walking up to the door as a little 3 foot tall 3-year-old, lanky as can be. I got my dad walking like 6 or 7 feet behind me. But I'm running to the door. I open the door and I look up and I see this bearded old dude who literally looks scary as hell. I am freaking out. I'm like, you're here for me.
He is the man to come and take you away.
So I ran. And of course, my dad's like, what the hell's wrong with my kid? Okay, whatever, no worries. My mom sees me run past the kitchen and sees me run to my dad's office. And she's like, what's he doing? What happened next was actually only verified by my mother and my father, like recently, because I thought it was funny. I apparently grabbed my dad's 6-foot ceremonial spear, which is sharp, by the way, and I was running back towards the living room. It wasn't over my head. It wasn't in one arm. It was locked in a position that says, I'm going to impale you. So I'm running back towards the living room where this dude who is my living fear, I'm like, if we're going to fight right now, my 3-year-old brain's going to kill you. Let's go. Like, no fear. I'm 3 years old. I'm like, I've got no fear here. My mother yells at my dad. My dad turns around and sees his little son running towards him with a spear. Sidesteps and just lifts the spear of me up and goes, what the hell are you doing? The dude, bless him, was just like homeless, was like a homeless dude with like mental issues, was actually asking for help. And my dad obviously helped him, but he turns around and just looks at my mom and she's like, what is this? Like, did you know he was about to kill somebody? And she's like, no. I was like, all right, I think we need to stop scaring him because he's going to kill what he's afraid of.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to go about it, killing what you're afraid of. A lot of us run for it. If we look at sort of that, how does that spill over into your adulthood, and how does that spill over? Like for you, you're ready to spear someone. For me, I'm ready to hide.
What's really funny about that is I had a head accident like 4 months after this incident, and I became very, very calm afterwards. Like it was really weird. Like the dichotomy shift was insane. But that should actually tell you, like, our patterns in youth do tell us. Because I do run towards my problems, and I don't run away from them. I'll shy away for like half a day, and then back in the driver's seat, because I got to go do this. Yeah. Now, Cathys actually given us quite a lot there. So helps people make sure sustainable impact in their jobs. Cool. Okay, so Cathy, I just need to know what it is you're selling and how much for. Because, like, is it a course? Is it training? Is it coaching? Is it you going in? Is it consulting? Is it a low price point? Is it mid price point? High price point? Basically, I just need to know these little ins and outs so I can actually show it. If not, I'm just going to make some stuff up and we can actually
make some stuff. Yeah.
Let's just make some stuff up. Let's say Cathy is, oh, cool. Oh, the washing machine basket. All right.
Joe is here to heckle with the dog. It's all good.
I love the dogs and the cats. All right, let's just jump into it. So, Cathy, let's just assume that what you do is you're a consultant. You come in and you help businesses become more sustainable by essentially maximizing what they have in their potential, while simultaneously working mostly with sustainable businesses to help them grow. So, the way that you would basically position this out there, if this was a sales letter or a sales video, just any kind of messaging, it would be something along the lines of, let's say sustainable businesses first. If you're a sustainable business that's going through the peaks and valleys of business growth and want to have a consistent high rise in how you're doing things and more importantly get everything covered, then I'm about to share with you the 3 things that you need to do in order to create a lasting, sustainable, impactful change in your world, in your personal world, and the world as a wider whole. Now, you've probably heard the term think locally, or what was it? Think globally, act locally. Well, the reality is you want to go the other way around. You want to think locally and act globally, meaning you're building multiple little local communities that are daisy chained together in a way to create a massive impact down the line. More than any, and all this really just comes down to how you guide your communication, because for many people, they want to have sustainability, but they've been so bastardized and inundated with the idea of recycling, of governmental schemes, of things that don't work, of things that just seem not to, things that just do not seem to fit into place, and therefore they are jaded. But what I'm going to share with you is going to drastically shift the way that you see sustainability, and more importantly, how your audience and the members of the community see sustainability. And then before I go into what the 3 things are that you need to build in your business in order to do so, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Cathys Marketplace, and for the last X amount of years, I have been completely passionate about working with sustainable businesses simply because I do understand the long-term effects and impact it has on the environment, but more importantly, it has far more, how we impact on a global level, but how it has far more of an impact on how we operate on a personal day-to-day basis. More importantly, in the UK, we've had multiple years of what we call a heat wave during summer. And these have only gotten hotter over time. And the reason being is we're producing more waste than ever before and not finding ethically, energetically efficient ways to recycle, reuse, or dispose of the waste. What I love most about working with sustainable businesses that have great practices is that you essentially blank. And then you'd go into whatever it is that you talk about, and then you drop into then you have what your background is, the 3 things, and then so on and so forth. But that should just give you a bit of a demo of how that introduction works.
Yes.
Because the introduction is far more important, because what you're doing is, if you realize from what I've said there, and watch it back on replay, I've dropped 3 separate hooks for people to latch onto later. There are 3 things they need to know to build a sustainable business. Okay, what is that? You got to think locally and act globally. You got to think globally and act locally. Okay. What does that look like? And then there's a third, which is we've been lied to. You can also fix in a government has lied to us angle here as well, which is a huge one, by the way. That's if you want to go in that angle. And by the way, if you don't know this already, recycling is the big lie the government told us, by the way. It produces more waste than it actually clears up. It's actually a huge pain in the ass to deal with, which is why sustainability is a far greater way of going through it, because you're using glass, silver, and metal to constantly reuse storage units. For instance, if you have a mason jar, you can go to a sustainability shop and buy way more salt or way more spices for that mason jar than you would if you were to get it brand new from another shop, because the packaging prices were so high. So it really works out in your favor, just as an aside. But that's essentially it, and that is basically one of the big lies you can really run with. I mean, the other angle you can run with, if you want to make this a bit more darker, which I'm not a fan of, but sometimes you can, because it does work.
Sometimes division works, though, doesn't it?
It has to. Sometimes you do need to have division in order to create unity, and that is quite simply the big divide for this, which is really simple to run with, is the headline to that was: the government has lied to you and will continue lying to you about the environmental statistics, and we're here to shine a true light to it. Boom.
And it's those hooks in the top end, isn't it? And we often miss it. We often and I see this happen all the time. We go in with the me at the beginning. We go in with this is about me. This is, a thing that I'm selling. And actually, talking about them in the first instance, allowing them to identify themselves. We were saying this before: connection first plus value. Connection isn't always about getting in about you first. It's about you understanding them in the first instance, and them understanding themselves in the first instance, and then a bit about you. That's connection. It's the 2 ears, one mouth thing.
But here's the thing: you've got to introduce yourself early enough. Far too often people do this thing where they put their bio at the bottom of the sales page. No. Think of it as a date. sales copy is dating. If you don't know who the fuck I am, you're going to be thinking the entire time, who the fuck are you? What's your name? And
Yeah.
also, Joe, I'm really curious, who's your audience? Like, what do your audience, who are you selling to, and what do they actually, like, what are they buying from you? What's the membership? Because again, everyone will buy membership if you position it correctly. It's all down to
Are we
position.
talking to Joe Wilson?
Yes.
Joe Wilson, we'll sort you with a transcript, Cathy. I got you, girl. So Joe has a membership. She's a dog trainer, and
Amazing.
she's an incredible dog trainer. Particularly working with like boxer breeds and bull breeds. So yeah, her membership is specifically around. Well, she has a dog school for humans.
Amazing. I love this because I actually have a client very similar to this. I have a friend who has a client who has something like this, but in the US. So
yeah.
this is gonna be fun. Like, how do I like? They're very like you grow communities and have an audience, but want to get more people into the membership. Oh, what else can you do? Okay, so there's a multitude of different ways of getting people through membership. See, the model of membership that people have is to try and inundate people with courses, content, courses, content, courses, content. The reality is you want to inundate with results, results, and results. Yes, the courses are a way of getting there, but you want to create something that people can come back to and easily apply. So for instance, the thing I'm doing with my own membership that's coming out, that Danny and I were discussing, I'm rebranding everything into 10 to 20 minute videos, meaning that as soon as you come in, you're kind of like, okay, I need to know how to write headline. Okay, there's a 5 to 10 minute video on how to write headlines. Boom, I need to know how to do transitions in copy. Well, there's a 5-minute video on how to do transitions in copy. Basically, whatever you want, it's there ready to go. But the reality is you'd be able to take what I write and what I've taught and essentially emulate and use it. So for your membership, especially if it's dog trainers, I mean, that's like dog people, they're really passionate people.
Very.
The way that you want to keep them on board is, first of all, it's behavior is the first thing they want to have. How do you train your dog? How do you get to know your dog? How do you keep them feeling good and making them feel good so you can feel good and have less stress, whatever it is, and actually really enjoy your dog? That's about 3 to 6 months of people being in there. The next 3 to 6 months are, why should they stay? Cool. Like, so it's a Netflix for dog training, which is amazing. But you want to look at why. Yes, variety exists, but why? Why should I actually give a crap about this community?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
So well, I mean, it takes us. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go.
Oh, no. I was actually going to say, like, you just want to take it. So I want to give Joe something that you can walk away with and apply right away. And this, quite simply, the angle that you want to use is, or the idea that you want to use with, is essentially look at your biggest case studies and testimonials and successes and start talking about them far more in your copy. Like, immediately, if you have a sales page, like, test against the sales page where you make the whole story about, I don't know, Julia, whose dog was really misbehaving, and how Baxter turned his shit around, and basically ended up getting all these results, which is absolutely incredible. And then boom, like, you go into, so how did Baxter get here? Well, I've developed this entire program as a way of doing X, Y, and Z, and more importantly, I help people do this. In fact, this is called the Netflix of dog training. And the reason it is because everyone has a different way of picking up ideas and implementing them. You might have a puppy that really just needs to understand how to get along, or you might have a rescue who's 3 years old and has been through some stuff and you need something to really draw them out. Or you might want to have a fun play date where you actually find a way to make your dog's life a lot more easier, more playful and fun. Or you might need something where they need to calm down at night so you can get some rest. Everything is included, and we want to make sure we cover every base, which is why you get access to the membership at full length, and you have me doing X, Y, and Z, or whatever it is. Bam, here's how you get started. That's one way of doing it. Another dog training aspect is, yes, that's basically it. You want to be, and from the very get-go, you actually want to say this in the sales piece as well. You, the reason why people stay, you want to have a section of the reason why people stay. Yes, you might have the mindset. Yes, you might achieve all this, and you might be tempted to leave. But the reality is, the moment you do, it's not like your results will come undone, but your dog, as they get older, will present different challenges to you. So you want to be prepared for what's coming up. And that's kind of the key thing there.
Genius. Thank you so much. And as Adil was just saying, he has please do reach out to him if this is something that you need help with. If you're watching right now, if this is something that you need help with, there are some things that are coming up in the not too distant that you can get directly involved with. In a way that, I mean, if you were working with Adil directly, it's insanity. He is one of the A-listers in with regards to this particular niche. And
any niche
with regards to this, this particular part of the industry, this particular part of doing work and marketing and what have you. So to be able to work with him in this particular capacity is awesome. And what we're gonna do over the next week is you're going to be seeing a little bit more from him in the IATQB Hive. So I think it would be remiss of us at this point not to talk about a little announcement that you and I have with regards to Be Inspired. Tell us what is happening in September. You're going to come along and speak with us.
I am. So guys, also Joe, I love that. You and I just have to have a chat because I love brain and behavior science like crazy. Like seriously, most of these books behind me are all about behavioral science. I'm speaking at your event, at the Be Inspired event. I'll be there live. Like the entire time.
In the room for me to hang with us as well.
Yeah, and just as a little added bonus, what are the dates again, if I remember correctly?
29th and 30th of September.
Yes, you guys definitely know that you gotta come and party with me because September 30th is my birthday.
Yes!
I'll be turning 33, so you know we gotta have fun.
We are going to have all of the fun. We've also secured an incredible DJ announcement. Are you coming dressed as Superman?
No, I'm actually going to, I wish, that'd be amazing. I'm probably going to go as Iron Man.
You do like, costume is not a prerequisite for any of our speakers, by the way, just FYI. I mean, you can if you want.
I go to Comic-Con and dress up as Comic-Con characters. So
yes.
I mean, there's a reason. So there's 3 voices I like doing: the gingerbread man from Shrek, Elmo, and the Joker from The Dark Knight, because I can actually nail Heath Ledger's voice perfectly.
Oh my goodness. Right. I think we're going to hold on to that. You've got to get your ticket to Be Inspired in order to hear those gems.
I will also throw this in. One of the other speakers at this event is an audio genius, and I'm not kidding when I use the word genius. And I say that because she is my twin. She is my sister from another mister. She is basically a person, one of my greatest friends in life. I'm not going to name names, but if you don't know who SP is, please look her up. She's incredible. But yeah, we're going to be there. We're going to be twinning it up. She has no idea yet that I'm going to be there.
She doesn't know, and these guys don't know who we're talking about either, which is Ace. A little teaser coming up in the not too distant for you. One of the things that I pride myself on, for everybody watching right now, one of the things that I pride myself on is bringing in our VIP speakers to bring incredible value to you, to talk. We was talking about value earlier on in the show today, but to bring incredible value to you, to help you with those changes. And if we think about connection plus the change that happens, walking away from the experience, walking away from certainly Adil's talk, knowing something more and feeling better and feeling like you can go and take on the world, then you are definitely in for a treat. But that is not all. We're going to help get you prepared. Adil doesn't speak all over the place all of the time. He is the underground A-lister. So we're very lucky to get him on a stage. But we're going to prepare you for that, right? What we're going to do to prepare everybody, because we're going to need to do a little bit of prep.
Oh, you guys are going to have so much fun. So just giving you guys an idea of how I do any of these events. Basically, take it this way. This has been fun. But when I get on stage and when I do things, I like to over-deliver. I like to leave you guys in complete awestruck awesomeness because, I'm an extrovert and I have a teeny bit of an ego. And my ego tells me I always have to be the best, which means I have to bring it. If I'm going with Danny, who is kind of incredible, it means I gotta meet her on par, which is going to be kind of fun. So imagine having the 2 of us in the same room. It's going to be incredible. But I say that, so on Friday, I'll be doing another video live. It's going to be just me on the show in this group, basically going ahead and say hello to you guys. I'm going to do a little bit of an ideation, and I'm going to leave you guys with a very simple way of building your mailing list on Friday. So you're going to have like a very simple 10-minute video of how to build your mailing list, including what you want to do. And then next week, we have a few surprises for next week, which I'm not going to talk about. So
Yeah, we have a few surprises for next week, but you're going to see a lot more of me and Adil in the next 7 days, certainly. So,
yeah.
but keep your peepers peeled on Friday for a specific 10-minute video. I'll give you a little bit more. I'll let you know when that's dropping and what time that's dropping over the
Cool.
course of today. And then on Wednesday and Friday next week, we have a little bit more magic to bring to you. Is it cake, Joe Wilson? You can bring cake.
I
And we
love
don't have
cake, yes.
surprise cake. I'm here
Yeah.
for cake.
Lemon cake. Lemon drizzle cake or chocolate cake. Happy Adil all the time.
And so Joe's just said, I think, Joe, did you say you've managed to get a dog sitter? Oh, amazing. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Joe Wilson has been hoping to get to a Be Inspired for the 3 years that we've been running. So fingers crossed she's going to get to this one. You will not regret it.
Oh,
so
if she's coming dressed as Scooby-Doo,
I
can go Shaggy. That'll be fun. We'll let Scooby and Shaggy play here.
And she will as well. I wouldn't put anything past that woman at all. Adil, it's been incredible speaking to you this morning. We will be hanging out over the course of the next 7 days. Please get yourselves into the IATQ Beehive if you are not already, where we're going to be hanging out a little bit more, sharing some more value with you and getting you prepared for Be Inspired, which is on the 29th and 30th of September. How do we...
birthday party.
Yes, it's also, you've done this well because we've got an awesome DJ. Like, we're going to be
I'm going to have a great birthday. It's going to be an incredible 33rd birthday. I'm
look at
literally
this whole personal development event, just for you.
Pretty much. You guys are there. This is Danny's event, but it's really my party. So
I'm just putting it on for you. You're welcome. But how do we, in the meantime, hang out with you, find out more about what you do, and get a little bit closer to your world?
Okay, so the easiest way to find me is you can find me on Facebook, which is Adil Amarsi, or you can find me on LinkedIn or Instagram. Send me a DM because I actually do love getting to know people. I'm one of those weirdos where if you add me and never say anything to me, I get really weirded out by that. So please go ahead and send me a message. Say, hi, nice to meet you, because believe it or not, I love talking to people all day. It's one of my favorite things in the world. And yeah, this will actually tune you onto all the ridiculous things I'm doing lately, including this insane membership that I was teasing literally about 20 minutes ago. You're going to get way more details about that. And by the way, has anyone been in the online marketing industry since 2008, 2009? Because if you have, I have something very special for you that I think you'll actually see as a homage. But if you haven't, I will do the thing and then show you the homage later because it's a really good, it's hilarious.
I'm here for that. I want to know more about that. So go and find my guy Adil Amarsi here on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Do send him a DM, reach out to him. He is a joy to have in your life. Thank you for your time this morning. I appreciate you. I can't wait to hang out more with you. We're going to be hanging out at Ideas Fest together next week to spend some more in real life time. And then, of course, at Be Inspired on the 29th and 30th of September. I will speak to you presently, sir. Thank you very much. What an incredible human being. I tell you what, the VIP speakers that we are bringing to you for Be Inspired are off the hook. They are so good in terms of what value they've got to bring, but just how genius they are, their experiences, the inspiration that they've got to bring to the table, as well as our lineup. So our lineup are getting prepared. They are limbering up. Their talks we now have the structure of their talks in place. We have their talk titles in place. We have their graphics in place. We are ready to be welcoming you. The cohort are like, we're not ready yet. I know you're not ready. You will be ready. We are getting them ready and primed for the stage. And we've got some phenomenal VIP speakers, including Adil. But you can go to imthequeenbee.co.uk. Go and get your ticket now. We have tables available until midnight on Sunday for 8 people for £1,000. That works out. Well, it's including VAT, it's £1,200. It works out £150 each instead of £234, which is how much it would be if it was just you buy the ticket on your own. So get together with 8 friends, shout out each other in your hive, in your community, get a table together. You only have until Sunday in order to do that. And then the price goes up to £1,250 plus VAT. Right, my darlings, that was a show and a half this morning. Hope you got some value from it. No doubt you did. Keep your peepers peeled for that video from Adil on Friday. I will let you know what time that's going to drop a little bit later today. Get yourself in the IATQB hive. Happy Wise at Wednesday. Go out and get him today, Tigers. I will see you on Friday. No, I won't. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. for more Showing Up, Wising Up and Rising Up. I'm going live 5 days a week during the summer holidays to keep me accountable, to keep you accountable, and to keep us moving through the summer and surviving the bugger together. Right, my darlings, have a good one. I'll see you later. Tra.